What's going on, Star Citizen fans? It's your boy Raptor Spiritus, and I am back with another one. So today, we're just kind of going to go over some of my favorite ships that dropped in 2025. Starting out strong, we're going to go ahead and talk about the Drake Golem. Now, with this ship, it pretty much marked a beginner, or I'm trying to think of the word, the starter ship for someone who is interested in mining. I thought this was a great addition because the other miners at the time were the Prospector and the Mole, which the Mole is a multi-crew ship, takes 3 players to properly man it. And you know, the Prospector was the only other thing. And I love the fact that they brought it out in a classic Drake form. There's nothing extra. It's nothing super fancy. It's just a mining ship. It's pretty quick. It's pretty nimble. And it'll get the job done. It's perfect for people starting out in the game that want to try the mining loop, which I think is fabulous. As you can see, that's one of the gadgets they have that help break rocks. So this is definitely one of my favorite ships that came in 2025. Now, the next thing, this is controversial. People think what they want to think, but I personally liked the MTC. Me personally, I think the MTC was a cool ground vehicle. Now, there is no actual ground vehicle play, but it's beefy. It's, you know, it looks like it has where it counts. I love the fact that the purpose of it is kind of like, you know, you're a security person, you know, running perimeter for an installation. It has suit lockers and a lot of like gun racks, things like that, and it has a little bit of storage in the back for micro SGU. I personally like this vehicle. I thought it was a nice addition because all we have before was the Rovers and the STV, the little small ones. I like this as an alternative, like dedicated combat vehicle. I thought it was super cool. So moving right along, my next favorite ship that came in 2025 most definitely had to have been the Guardian MX. So I was a fan of the Guardian when it came out, and I had the QI. So when they came out with the MX, this was actually, I remember from the silhouette, I was really curious about it, but like here you see the comparison of it. It looks like it's big, broody brother. I love these ships. I even like the Furies that it came out with. So Mirai was definitely one of my favorite ship manufacturers. I love how different it is. I was a little disappointed they took away the bed, but I understood why they took the bed away. But just look at that. It's just so cool. But the Guardian series are a great series of ships. So when it came out with a heavy variant, I was definitely all about it. So that was definitely one of my favorite ships from 2025. Now, moving right along, a ghost drop that nobody was expecting was the Asgard. The Anvil Asgard was something that nobody really kind of saw coming. And it takes basically the Valkyrie and gives us this amazing dropship that not only you can have troops in it, but it also has a whole lot of firepower. But this right here, it has a cargo hold for all the ground vehicles in the game. Super freaking cool. Because before, the only way you could transport some of those ground vehicles, I think like the Spartan or Atlas type of vehicles or the Tonk tank, was in some of the bigger vehicles like the, I believe it could fit in the Hercules. I'm not too sure about the Carrack, but the point is that you only had a limited amount of ships, and they were all huge ships to transport these vehicles. And then they came out with this bad boy right here. Missile rack on top, 6 size 3s and 2 size 4s on a bottom turret. This thing is amazing. I love this ship. I almost tried to talk myself into melting it to get something else, but I just couldn't. It was just super awesome all the way around. Plenty of SU for cargo hauling, plenty of firepower for bounties, plenty of armor for, contending against other enemies. It's a cool ship. And like I said, it fits all the ground vehicles, every single one of them, and I love that that's what it was for. It's what it's made for. So that was one of my absolute favorites that came from 2025. Super cool. Now, of course, this next one is no surprise. The Xperia Prowler Util. Now, as I've mentioned before in previous videos, I've always wanted the Prowler. I loved it because of the point of what it was supposed to do, which was a stealth vehicle that was meant to carry people. Now, there's not a lot of gameplay for stealth ships when it comes to ground assaults. However, I still love the concept of it. Now, at first, before the utility came in, the Prowler base was not stealthy at all. And in fact, it was bugged to all high pieces. But you know what? When they came out with the util, they rectified all that for not only the util, but also for the regular Prowler. They closed the cross-section signature. It has all stealth components. This thing is actually pretty cool. You can get pretty close to people if you're running on low power without being noticed. I love this ship. Has a tractor beam, and yes, a lot of people are not fond of the fact that it only has 32 SCU, but that's okay, because when you're running precious cargo like drugs or anything like that, this ship shines. And especially when you're trying to get past people, as long as they don't see you visually, this is good. And let's face it, it's alien. Look at this, look at that silhouette. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous ship. It did downsize the size 5 to size 4s, but they kept the size 3s on top. It's still good enough to handle itself in fights. I love this ship. It's definitely one of my top favorite ships. I'll probably never get rid of this. So that is for that. Now moving on. There's some other favorable mentions. The Meteor was a pretty cool ship. I actually melted it down. I didn't really have a lot of use for it because I love the Guardian mechs. I didn't need another heavy one. I know now in the current patch with the way they have it with ballistics and how they really affect in gameplay with the armor now and the components and engineering, I heard it's actually pretty fun ship to fly around and to take out other ships. But I already had a heavy fighter. I really didn't need it, so that's why I got rid of it. But it was still a cool ship, and actually with the new engineering, it actually has a purpose in the game. So I dig it. It's a cool ship. I would recommend anyone who's looking for a heavy fighter that has bed logging in it. So there's that. And then moving right along, we're getting to obviously the meat and potatoes. I had some friends that had the Apollo ships. Honestly, didn't care too much for it, so I definitely didn't get it. Not my thing. And of course, it wouldn't be this series without mentioning the ship. If there's anyone in 2025 that didn't like the Perseus, I'd be crazy. I'd be like, yo, what is happening? This ship is, I think, the perfect size ship for multi-crew combat. This ship is cool. I love it with the size 8 Medusas. Yes, they are slow, but again, give and take, right? But it's a big enough ship for 6 people to play and have a good time in. It's definitely, I have this ship. It was definitely one of my favorites. I definitely love the idea of small crewing ships, but this ship was fabulous. And what it brings to the game, because for a while you just had the Idris and you had the Polaris. This ship is fun. Now, depending on who you talk to, I've done some experimenting with other groups like the Golden Rhinos before. The Perseus is not a cap killer on its own. It is not meant to, really take down the cap ships, right? It is to assist in doing so, but it's more for ships like the Hammerhead. Ships like that, that's what it really where it's for and where it shines. But other than that, if it's taking on a cap ship, you probably want another cap ship or a lot of support to do so. But I love the fact that they have a ship that's smaller, as a multi-crew ship besides the Hammerhead that is combat based. This ship was awesome. I love this thing. It's definitely one of the best ships that came out in 2025, and it was worth the money to go get it. The Clipper. The Clipper is one of my super favorites. And okay, we all know I like Drake, right? But they brought this ship that does everything. Medical bed, cargo hold, enough weapons to do like, light to very light, maybe even medium combat for like bounties and stuff. This ship is super cool. I love the layout. A lot of people were like, "Ooh, it looks weird. It looks like one of those I forget what they're called, but they're like the fish that are like sideways, and they're just big fish, and they look kind of stupid." But people were saying that no one liked the ship at first, but then when they got into it and they saw what it does, and it brought a new category to Star Citizen, everybody was like, "You know what? I didn't think I was gonna like it. I flew it around for a little bit, and now I love it." This ship is cool. Drake always knows how to answer the call, answers the question for a ship that needs to fill a certain role. Drake always has a solution. This is a fabulous ship, and I'm looking forward to other ships that are going to be in the same category. So we will see how that happens. But yeah, this was definitely one of my other favorite ships. So that's pretty much all I got today. Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot one more. This one right here. I like the L21 better than the L22. That's just my personal preference. I love the way this ship looks. I love the retro hot rod look, and I actually like the little fin that comes at the bottom. That's just me personally. I love this ship. I even loved it even more when they came out with the gun packet, to where you can either use the ballistics or you can use the laser. I love that. And the paints that came out with the L22, super cool. I have this green one that's like this matte green, super cool, super cool. So that is pretty much all I got today. But yes, this was my last favorite I wanted to mention. So those were my picks for 2025, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2026 has to offer. But as always, it's your boy Raptor Spiritus. You guys stay safe out there, and I will see you in the verse.